Anybody know who that was? Sudan, maybe? It doesn't make sense. No, because the Nile goes dark. Maybe Sudan blocked it on Egypt?
Well, I know Egypt like totally botched some like dam.
The Aswan Dam, the Aswan River Dam. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? Okay. So what everybody wants to know is, what about getting rid of the dam? I've got this website on my course website. So if you go to the APES website, select Unit 8 for water, there's a link somewhere right here, cool website about dams, and if you click the view button, it'll take you to this website. This website compares a natural river to a poorly run dam to a well-run dam. And on each of these, you can see like riparian habitat in a wild river versus riparian habitat in a bad dam versus riparian habitat in a better dam.
The bad dam is just a complete stoppage of water.
Yeah, they don't like.
What is that? There's the water over there.
Well, some dams do block a tremendous percentage of their water because then it enters into plumbing and is used for cities. So after electrical generation, it's just exported for sale. So literally, some dams do basically dry out the river down, like no river mouth.
What's with the pyramid with the beam of light shooting out of the
Yeah, this is supposed to be Vegas. That's where I'm going to be next weekend, by the way. I'm going back to a concert.
Oh, there's the Space Needle, like the fake one.
Yeah, I don't know, Seattle, Vegas.
Yeah.
So this will show you, like, oh, there is a way to do the fish thing. But then the part that I kind of disagree, where they talk to you about removing a dam, they're just like, pow! You remove the dam and you're good! And I mean,
wish it away.
Yeah, you just get rid of it, you know. I mean, get rid of it. Just call some guy and take it to the dump. The fact is not quite that simple. There's, I gotta do this. I'm almost out of time. I got 8 minutes to go. There's 2 huge obstacles with a dam. Obstacle number 1 is they were cheap to build when we built them, but everything costs more today. Adjusted for inflation, labor is more expensive. There are more regulations on your workforce. You can't hire children and make them work 80-hour weeks like you could in the good old days. You have to provide safety equipment and all this BS about workers' rights and sensitivity training, diversity. It's just harder to have a workforce today. On top of that, electricity costs more, gasoline costs more. Now there's all these pesky environmental protections. So you got to hire the auditing firm and the reporting firm and the oversight, independent analyst thing. All of a sudden it's become almost impossible. Plus, here's another detail about the cost. When you built it, you're going to offset that selling electricity and water. Now you got to spend 10 times more to get rid of it. On an average, it costs 10 times more to destroy it than it did to build it. But who the hell's going to pay that 10 times the cost? We, the taxpayer. Because the operator has no profit after getting rid of it, so there's no way to recover that cost. You know what I'm saying? If you want to build a dam, don't worry, you'll pay for it by running the operation. Now it's going to cost you 10 times that, and you'll never get the money back, so taxpayer dollars to destroy it. The separate problem, though, is the sediment. To put this in perspective, Glen Canyon Dam, this one, that reservoir receives roughly 10 million tons per year of sediment. And it's been doing that for over 70 years. So we're talking 700 million tons of sediment. I don't know if you're good at math. Yeah, sorry, this is Hoover Dam. Glen and Hoover are both on the same average. That comes out to roughly 20,000 dump trucks a day, which is in the rough ballpark of 2 dump trucks per second. That's the natural rate of sediment deposition. Right. So, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 dump trucks just got added to the reservoir. 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 more.
How is it possibly so red?
Well, it's about 50% sand now. The bottom of the river is filling up quickly.
Eventually won't it plug our intakes?
Eventually it will plug our intakes, and eventually that'll turn into a flat level of sand with a river going over it like a waterfall. And after humans are gone to service this thing, water flowing over the top will erode it, it'll crumble, blow out, flood the next one, that'll overflow, crumble, blow out, and we'll have a series of catastrophic floods in the absence of humans. While we're around, we got no other plan.
The lower dams aren't getting as much sediment, right?
Not as much, but don't forget that there are feathered feeder streams that are still in the same desert that are bringing sand from other parts of the desert. But yeah, the 2 with the most are at the top. Glen and Hoover get the most.
Is Glen above Hoover?
Yeah, Glen above Hoover. The part that I can't stress enough is the volume of sediment is not only a 70-year backlog of sediment for hundreds of millions of tons, but on top of that, there's 2 dump trucks per second. In the 50 minutes of this class, what is that, 600 dump trucks? Did I get that right? I'm off by a 0, I think. 60 times 50 is 3,000 times 2 per second. 6,000 dump trucks while you sat in my period today. 6,000 more while you go to your next class. Like, think about it. We don't have enough truck drivers or dump trucks. Like, if we took all our dump trucks in the U.S., we don't have enough dump trucks. If we want to let the sediment out, we're going to let the water out, and then we're going to not have enough water and electricity. We've painted ourselves into a corner. It's like, on one hand, look at me, everybody, look at me, I closed the drain, I closed the drain, I did it, I closed the drain. And then on the other hand, it's like, bro, you just clogged the drain. You got to get rid of that stuff. I closed the drain, I did it, I closed the drain. And it's like, you know, you just clogged the drain, right? Like, you're all going to die. Whatever, man, I closed the drain. We can't do both. Like, if you're going to split the difference, you'll fill up with sediment half as fast and you'll hold half the water. But you still got a sediment problem if you got a dam, and if you got a dam, you got a sediment problem. And there's no way to solve it, and you're totally screwed. Like, seriously, our biggest options right now are trying to fortify the dams so they can become a permanent waterfall. That's a serious option. And option number 2 is turning all of the dams into solid rock and then just plumbing all the water around them so you have to blow out a diversion canyon. Neither of these sounds very good.
Yeah, wonderful.
Really awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. So you could run it on a kayak? Bye bye, children!
Is there